Hello YouTube, JP here, JP Outdoors once again, and I'm here today on this beautiful day. It's absolutely stunning setting and everything, and I'm going to talk to you about radio communications, why they're important, the capabilities. I'm trying to angle about their capabilities now. Why I think radio communications is overlooked in our world as sort of preppers as such. It's because everyone's walking around with a mobile phone. So for a lot of people, it's overlooked in the fact that, well, got comms, you know, it's there. Give them a ring if I need to and everything. But I think we all know that they're probably the first thing that is going to let you down. I mean, let's face it, you're charging them once a day and whatnot, depending on the scenario which you might be prepping for anyway. Okay, radio communications themselves. This is back to you guys now. What do you want comms for? You've probably already covered this, but if you haven't, what do you want comms for? Well, I want to talk to the neighbours, for instance. Yeah, okay. I want to talk to the neighbours. Probably little PMR radios are going to work then, because you know, you're only talking to your immediate neighbours and stuff like that. They are good for what they are. They're cheap, they're cheerful, and they will get you to the neighbours. But don't expect to get a few streets away, because it's not going to happen unless you live at the top of a block of flats. So there's that. You want to talk to people further away, maybe across the town you live in, maybe, or something like that. Well, then you're looking at CB. Now there's a place in my heart for CB. I haven't used it in a while. I've got the capability, but I don't need to now, what with amateur radio that I've got. CB's good, but it's not the best. So here now I'm angling towards amateur radio, and I'll go through a little bit about amateur radio. But before I start, I just want to make a note that you do need a license to operate amateur radio frequencies. It's not hard. I mean, I can pass the exams. I'm an intermediate. I don't need to do the full license because I've got what I want out of the hobby. And it's not that expensive. It's not that hard, and it's not that expensive. So if you do need a hand with pointing in the right direction, drop me a line at the bottom, and I will endeavour to source out the information you require. And I will I'll 100% get back to you. No matter if hundreds of you say, oh, I need this and I need that, I will get back to you, guaranteed. Okay, amateur radio themselves. Here's an interesting one for you. The cry for help for Bosnia came via amateur radio, which I think is amazing, really. And also, I believe, and this is on YouTube as well, that when the Falklands was invaded, a guy called Bob, I forget his surname, possibly Bob McLeod, got in touch with someone via the HF bands and said, we've got visitors, etc., giving indication to the Argentinian invasion. So this stuff on a prepping tool actually does work if you think of it on that scale. Do you know what I mean? So okay, let's look at amateur radios themselves. Now we have three main bands. You've got HF, which stands for high frequency. You've got UHF, which is ultra high frequency, and VHF, very high frequency. Now they operate on two very different things here. Now when you hear me hear the term propagation, that simply means how the radio wave travels. Now let's focus now on UHF and VHF communications. They work on ground wave propagation. So this particular one here, I've had 96 miles straight to a guy in Borough-in-Furness, and it was crystal clear. For those that do know, it was a 5 and 9, easy. It was crystal clear. It was a wonderful QSO. That said, I was at the top of a local mountain around here, so there's that. So UHF, VHF, again, analysing your needs. You live in a city, you live in a town, you're probably going to want to get UHF, ultra high frequency. Operates best in urban environments. If you say live rural or even semi-rural, you know, you're looking at VHF, very high frequency. Operates best in this. You know, let's turn it on. Let's turn it on. See if anyone's there. It might not be. It's like fishing, isn't it? Nah, there's no one on. Because these ones are linked to repeaters and stuff. So yeah, that's ground wave propagation. So it's line of sight. And as you've seen, and take it from me, I'm being genuine when I say it, that was 96 miles. So, and that's only because I was so high up and everything. But it's impressive. Okay, what are your needs now? I need to speak to someone the other end of the country or in a different country. Okay, let's look at the HF kit, high frequency. This operates on skywave propagation. So what we're looking at now is once you transmit, it's going to go up into space, bounce off positively ionized particles, come down and land somewhere else. Like the other day on 40 meter band, which is 7 point something megahertz, I spoke to a guy in Birmingham, and literally minutes later I'd switched onto the 20 meter band, which we're looking more global now, and spoke to a guy in Russia, and the bands aren't that great at the moment as well, so I was quite impressed with that. So the kit's there and it works, and it's absolutely, it's wonderful stuff. Amateur radio is wonderful stuff, and it's there for you if you should need it. Like I said, it's not expensive. Well, you pay for what you want to pay for. Let's talk about cost. Bofang radio, cheap as chips, about 20 quid, but very capable. ICOM handheld, okay, it's got a few whistles and bells on this one. Good couple of £100. Yeah, they reckon it's waterproof, but I haven't got the coolness to test it. So anyway, there is that, and the HF kit's obviously in house because it's a lot bigger and whatnot. That does conclude that. So on that bombshell, if you've got any questions at all on amateur radio, drop it in the link down the bottom, or if you're interested, certainly please drop me a line. And like I said before, I don't care how many of you get in touch. If you want it, then I'll point you out in the right direction. But anyway, thanks for tuning in now. Cheers now. Bye bye.